Hey there, how's it going? Today we're going to be watching an Inferno demo from Gabik today. My name is the Vet. I've done about 30 of these demo reviews in the past for people in the Wilson CS2 Discord server. There's a link on my Discord bio as well as in the description of this video if you want to see all of the other ones. As for my credentials, in addition to that, I've peaked at about level 8 on Faceit, and in Season 1 I peaked at about 20,000 on Premier. I haven't played too much in the last few months. Been busy doing a lot of other things in my life, other games, other activities, but we'll see what we can do for Gabik today. He said in his post he wants to know how to improve more as a pit player and how to get more impact playing pit. I recently switched from banana as a rifler to becoming a pit anchor. Currently level 5, but the game was played when he was level 4, and this is the max page. So he's right down here. 98 ER, so second highest on the team, although second lowest kills on the team. It's just the way it goes sometimes. And yeah, and these are the levels of everyone who's participating. So he is 3 stacked with Todium, who I believe was the last demo review I've done. I don't think I've done another one since. And Yugi, who I think I've done a demo review way back when. His name is Mantide in the playlist. So have watched these two players' demo reviews in the past, and now it is time for Gabik's. Like I said, level 4, and this average elo here is level 4. That might be level 5. I don't remember what the cutoff is. I think it's 1050, but anyways. So yeah, although he is interested on CT side, we are watching T side first, obviously. It's linear. I don't know why this is glowy here. Let me just reload the demo really quick. And hopefully we can get rid of that. There we go. So, we're going up second mid here on pistol round. It's a fine strat. I don't have any issues with it. It's pistol round. Can't really do too much fancy stuff. Get chunked by a nade, but it's not a huge deal. Turn down the volume on my end in a moment, but you don't need a reload here. You got 13 bullets in a Glock, and you're in pit, so it's easy enough to get cover and get a reload out if you need it. So, okay. Alright, I do have some remarks on that. Alright, volume is down, so it's on my end. So, I don't think you need to be going to pit here, off rip. So here's what's happening. So they're pushing down banana. You don't know that, but they are pushing down banana. So you guys are going to be pinched pretty soon. It's pissed around, so I would not suggest having someone down here, but if you do, then their job is obviously going to be to hold for this push. But again, it's pissed around, doesn't really matter that much. Pathing is fine. You do get chunked by the nade, but there's not really anything you can do about that. Oh shit, I'll see because you're on the other side. So, after you get chunked by the nade, this default player drops. You should jump up and clear apps here, I think. At least give Pit a courtesy peek, but I think you do jump up, clear apps. You can clear mini pit from right here. You jump up and you swing down there, and then someone else can worry about big pit. Although, realistically speaking, you're not gonna have a pit player. Pit is not very common for people to play unless they expect you to come through apps. Especially on pistol round, you've killed one on short, you've killed one on arch. He's probably in apps. You're not gonna have a pit player if you already have a short player. It's just not really what people do. It happens, but it's just not that common. Anyways, so you go in a pit, you check it's clear, but you reload. You don't need to reload here. Like if you've got ammo, you're fine. You should at least peek short, before the reload. You do kill one short player. This guy over here's managed. Your teammate managed to kill him, so good on him. And now you're stuck in a 1v2 in pit, and I don't like pit that much. I don't think you should be relegating yourself as a pit anchor. Um, but we can talk a lot more about that when you're actually on CT side. It's pistol rounds. I don't want to go too hard on it, but um, yeah, not too much there. It's just really no reason to be going for a reload there, and I think clearing apps and getting that space is your priority if you're running up short. You pretty much already have, like, you'll have all sight. You had a couple people alive, but there you really just need space. So here you go for a deagle buy. You do get a tag. So a second round pistol is fine on T side because you can't afford AK and armor. Although you aren't on the same page as your team. Like your team is running up mid, and here you are in second mid, and you die to someone who's pushed through apps because your team has decided to just W key up second mid. So you're not on the same page as your team. You've got to figure out, like, okay, so if they did call, we're gonna go second mid to top mid to short, like you guys did last round, then you're not putting yourself in a situation for that. You know, you're just kind of going down to bottom mid, trying to get a lucky deagle shot on someone who's top mid. But you don't need to go for a top mid deagle shot, or at least you don't need to hang out down here, because your team is going through and they're going through top mid anyway. You know, like it's the benefit that you get being back here when your team is up here is basically non-existent. Like these guys are the ones taking the fight. Your job, if you are staying back, like I said on pistol round, is to make sure there's not a banana push. The hanging out on T ramp is fine as long as you're covering this other base. By rotating here, you really give that up. You've left your entire team on an island. Granted, four people isn't really an island, but you've left your entire team on their own, so you can rotate through here. You don't need to rotate through here. You can just rotate. You can just run up top mid because your team's all here already. So I don't know what the plan is here. If you want to go through apps, you know, you group up with your teammates and you either go through boiler, you go through bedroom, or you go through down here instead of this like slightly longer rotate. So not a huge fan of that one, but um, yeah, not a huge deal. Like you guys are on a pistol round against a full buy. Essentially, I mean you're against a buy, and you know it's a buy because they won the round relatively comfortably with 2 alive. So doesn't make too much sense to both one take that mid fight and kind of hang out for it, as well as this rotate here. I don't really agree with that. There doesn't really matter. So. Right, but now you've got to buy. You go for a Galil. I don't agree with that. I think just going for an AK is fine. It's not a huge deal because you know that they're going to have whatever guns that they had on the previous round. Um, like you guys didn't kill any of them, so they're going to keep whatever guns that they had, which as you know are shotguns more or less. And given you know it's shotguns, you don't need to worry about holding mid like that. Like mid smoked for how long? I think it smoked for most of this time. Yeah, this is your guys' smoke that you threw. You don't have to worry about this. Like you should know that they have shotguns here. The guy you do run into is a guy with the A1. You don't need to go for this. Like you just go with your team. I think right here you're thinking very individually right now. Which is fine if you're defaulting, but you're not defaulting. Your team is going up banana and getting shredded, more or less. Bomb gets dropped in spawn, and then someone has to go back and get it. Oh yeah, and you threw that top mid smoke. You don't have to worry about it. I think you get the bomb and then you go banana with your team here. The top mid smoke is fine for the record. It's just other issues on that round, I think. Now the buy's a little wonky. You guys are third loss, so you can buy a good bit. Like I think 1500 is fine here. Yeah, you can buy down like 1500 and be totally fine. Okay, that's gone now. Fine. That's fine, you don't have to worry that much about noise. Why are you popping up? You don't have to worry that much about your noise here. At least up until like here. Just with the time. I take it back. I think you are justified in worrying about noise as early as you did, because you did go through TAPs. Good shot. And then you give it up. Okay, so bomb's like down. Like you guys just don't have bomb. You haven't had bomb in a bit. Because bomb went and died on second mid. I think that the move here is that you take this kill and you run through apps towards balcony. Like you get the gun, and before you get traded by anyone, you run here. Because off this kill, you know that long hull is clear. You don't know that short is clear. Like you just don't, and you know that they're around here because of the death here in top mid. But I think getting long haul control here is going to be very valuable for this. Because now this player here, like these players in particular, now have to worry about behind them on top of any aggression from here or from bottom mid. Not so much bottom mid just because of these two players here, but they don't have to worry about as much. Like right now, you just like this spoiler guy only has to focus here. Like that's what he'll cover. Number 4 will focus bottom mid. And then these guys will just kind of do whatever they need to, whether it's focusing top mid, whether it's worrying about ramp, whether it's dropping in Mexico. I think you make this round a lot harder for them by taking this kill and taking the space that you got off of it. That's really what this is about. You got all that space and then you drop back, and by you dropping back, these two are just lost. Like they don't know what you're doing. You dying these guys doesn't really matter. I mean, like you don't pick a fight, but that's not really a problem here. Like I think the problem is that you should have like exiting apps is not the move here. Like just given that the bomb is drop top mid, given that they have that the space that offers, I think you just need space back. Space to work with, because it's only like there's still a minute and a half left in the round. So you don't have to be like running at them in any way. You can take your time with that sort of thing. Blowing this top mid smoke. It's fine to condition with this. I'm not a huge fan of this top mid smoke. Because it just it kind of lets them cross for free. It makes it a bit harder for your opper who's trying to pick on ramp, but... Oh, why do you make noise here? I don't know. That's a little bizarre you made noise, but... They've heard 2 of you here. Those steps are heard, so they still hear 2 of you. That's why that nade comes in. By the way, you can push up a bit more and clear sandbags out, because you do seem to be worried about it. But you can push up towards like the fingers here, and that's enough to kind of see if there's someone there. If you're further back, I'm not sure if you can see a crouched player. But there's no harm in kind of drifting forward and clearing that. Like you have the advantage in that fight as long as you are actively attempting to clear it. But now you guys are just kind of lost here, just kind of set up. Okay, you molly out the back. You've got a CT smoke coming in from your buddy. How did your teammate not see this guy? Okay. It's kind of whatever. It's a good, that was an 87 damage headshot, nice shot by him, doesn't matter much. And that guy just wins round for him. Yeah, I mean, I don't like that you guys are all stuck top banana. I think having this space to rotate out is nice, it's helpful, but the exec was okay. I think a flash would have been really nice here. And both you and the guy who dies have a flash, which is, it's unfortunate that you die to this guy. A flash isn't gonna hit him. Like the angle he's playing is kind of meant so that a flash doesn't hit him, but at least that gives you the confidence to push up and take sight. Because if like if you have a flash that pops up here, then no one on site's gonna really be a problem. So even if this guy is a problem, like you're never gonna expect someone to play here, you don't have to worry about a trade coming in from somewhere else because of that flash. So the flash, even if, like I said, even though it wouldn't blind him, it would aid in preventing a trade. But anyway, he farmed a bunch of money, so didn't need a trade. So wow, they just keep buying shotguns. Okay, I mean it's working. You have to keep in mind with a smoke like that is that you are burning $300 every round. That's fine if you do have a plan for it later in the half, but that does get pretty costly. These guys just pushed the banana. They just don't have any space. What happened to 9? Are they? Are you shifting here, dog? What? And then you smoke it, and he should call it. And now you're aware about it. Yeah, Bizarre team with those shotguns, it definitely makes it hard to play. That peak is a little sloppy, but not too much about it. Not quite peeking on the pre-fire, it's a little floaty, I think. Yeah. Like, it feels like you're peeking and you're kind of surprised that someone is there. Which is not really ideal if you are pre-firing. But, or at least, setting up for the pre-fire. Get the smoke, I'm assuming you throw the same smoke again. Yep. You have an okay spawn, okay. I was gonna say, if you have a good spawn and you're stopping through that smoke, that I'd have a big problem with that, but... It feels like you're not keen on taking a lot of initiative. Like, I don't really feel like you're setting yourself up in spots to get yourself impact. Your team is set up top banana here. They're taking contact now against those shotguns. Do they even have an execute going? Yeah. But, I don't know, I feel like hopefully by now, like, those shotguns are just kind of a known factor. But you are dropping back, so that's fine. You don't have to worry about walking here, they can't be close enough. Now you should worry about walking, but like, your team is taking contact here against those shotguns. Like, you just go. I think you're giving these shotguns, your team is giving those shotguns a lot of space. You don't really have to be, but like I said, that's kind of a team problem. I think taking Church is the move there. Just get this control over that, because this CT smoke is going to funnel them into Church. You don't have to worry about holding that smoke like that. Especially since you hear that guy in Church. That is a problem with that spot. I am surprised they boost over that, but that's not a big problem. Yeah. I think you just need to communicate what you're looking at here, because Mantide over here is switching between both Church and CT. I think if you tell him to focus Church, then you don't have to worry about this guy at all. Like, he would have this contact here. And if he holds an angle like this, then you wouldn't have to, like, you hold his CT, or you either hold CT or banana. This player here is, Toad, you're baiting a little bit here, I'm sorry, but I do understand it. Oh yeah, you don't even have to worry about banana. So, yeah, Toadium could definitely push forward and just hold CT like this. Mantide can hold Church like this. Either probably this side is a lot better. You got banana on lock. And so then that leaves you for anything, really. It is the downside of this spot is that you aren't really taking first contact that often. And it is a bit exposed. It's a nice off angle, but it's a bit exposed. But I think in general, you should at least take Church. Something like this. That way you can take a fight at a longer angle, like way back there, and back up to a safer angle in time if needed. Because otherwise, without taking Shirks, you've kind of relegated yourself to only having backside. Like, sure, you have Banana, but you've only got backside to work with, which isn't a lot of space, and it is pretty easy to get flushed out. You guys do convert the round, though. Get a full buy. You have a decent spawn here? Yeah, you got a decent spawn. You don't have to worry about the smoke here. This is the first time they've gotten off. Good spray there, especially since you didn't expect the guy. And this smoke is honestly the main counter to the smoke that you're throwing, because it gives them a little bit of room between the smokes to kind of work with. But okay, bombs down Banana. That op is rotating over. This slow clearing doesn't matter a ton. You can work that, which is nice. Yeah, you can just go loud here. At least take some space somewhere and kind of post up. So if you sit here in library, I'm happy. I think you should go a little wider just in case they're like the speedway, the highway there, so you can make sure that they don't gap you on arch. But this guy is saving, so it doesn't matter a ton. So okay. Hey, how are you in front with like the worst spawn possible? What the fuck is going on? I really don't like the way you play mid. I don't know how, I wish I had a better way to describe it, but I don't like that you throw this smoke. It's fine, but you aren't using it effectively yet. Like you are, like I said, the problem with this smoke is that it gives them a free cross. It gives them a safe cross, unless you guys are spamming in this smoke. The smoke is nice because it means that you have the choice between pivoting between short and long. But you see here how that's not doing anything because like you've thrown this every round and you haven't actually like converted it. So I think, like I said, the smoke is fine. I think you're throwing it too much for how you're just not using it. The other thing I don't like is this way you kind of peek top mid without peeking all the way. You kind of peek and hold a push. But the thing is, people aren't going to be pushing on this side. They're going to be pushing on this side. They're either full crossing, which means you need to peek all the way, or they're pushing down the right side, which means they won't get seen by you down there. So it's the way you're clearing mid and holding mid is not that effective for what it is. Up until you go and you swing it like this. They're gonna post up here while your team does stuff in Banana. You hear that both players have rotated off of A, both the arch player and the short player, so you can speed up here. You get the flank, but yeah, you can speed up a good bit after that short rotate. Like once you hear a player rotating on short, you're basically free to just kind of run or at least have your knife out for a little bit. That we can catch them off before they make it to like library or inside of arch. If they're rotating from short back here, and you're like here, then you can cut them off if you speed up a little bit. How are you? Okay, you have a great spawn here, and you're gonna throw the smoke again. And this guy's pushing mid. Oh, they love their shotguns. I know they're broke here, but like, fuck. So now you're kind of using the smoke in the way you're supposed to. Or like in the way that it is supposed to set you up for. Alright, apps gets cleared. You kind of relegate yourself to the pit. That's fine. I think the recurring thing is that you're not setting yourself up with space. I feel like you're really relegating yourself to like these corners. Surprised that was a headshot, wow. I did not feel like it was anywhere near. Maybe you were just moving a little bit. Yeah, I think you're just moving a little bit on that shot, but that's fine. Yeah, so you guys plant here. I think it's beneficial to get one of you guys into apps, and that way you can just jiggle this long haul. I know the shotguns are a bit scary here and mean that they're not playing normal CS. And them not playing normal CS is really kind of fucking you up. Um, but yeah, so that's there. I think having someone up here in I think it's called graveyard area is good. Um, just opens up some slightly different angles. You're a little exposed here, but it's not common that people are up there. Um, so it's a nice spot for post play, especially when you know that they've got shotguns. You know, you're adding a couple extra meters to your engagements. But yeah, these guys aren't playing good CS, so it is making it really difficult to have something here. Like the shotguns are just make it a hard demo to really give much on because they're not playing as if they have rifles. You've got bomb. Yeah, A site's the move here. Gives you longer angles when you know they've got all the shotguns. Here's a moment where I think having a smoke would be good, and wasting it on top mid is kind of useless. Again, you know they've been running shotguns a lot by now, I hope, and so those long range angles aren't really a problem. I think up here having a moto smoke is tremendously helpful. That way you don't have to worry about clearing a bunch when you get to site. It's an okay plant spot. They could defuse a little bit from behind the pillar here. So I think just tucking in a corner somewhere and really limiting where they can stand is going to help a lot, but it doesn't matter a ton. They're going to have to be pretty far forward, and so they will be seen by pit. And it's a small thing. Like, you guys have sight, so like you don't have to have a fast plant like that. You can really set up for the best plant possible. No one's watching the Smoto smoke here. So yeah, this guy's getting a flash shot for short, and you're just not looking at it, so just careful for that walkthrough. They don't here, but make sure you have your bases covered. I think you should also be communicating where you're looking at, because it seems like obviously you're holding short. This guy's got a crossfire with you. That's fine. This player here, it needs to be holding moto. Like moto is your weakness here. Um, so you need to communicate like I'm holding short. Green, hold moto for me. You know, something like that. Small thing, but it does definitely seem like you're treating a smoke like it's a wall here. Oh, that guy's just, what the fuck is he doing? Why is he still there? That's fine. I don't blame you for dying there. I mean, it's strange because like you are low enough, I think, that you need to be exiting sooner. So I don't know why you're going towards pit. Because I don't think you can survive there with this plant on 46 HP. But it is strange that this guy's even still here in the first place. Like he needs to be saving. Why is he not saving? He's just standing here. So whatever. Full buy again. Got the mid smoke, and if you don't use this smoke this round, it's a waste, honestly. You're getting too greedy against that op there. Now you've heard there's two ops. Alright, stop going for the fight. You're fine. You've heard two ops now. You know it's 1A, 1B. You're the site player. Yeah, you saw pit. Yeah, this is real fucking awkward. The double op makes it weird, but you guys gotta get some space back here, so I do like that you're fighting through mid. Kind of. You get that kill, good. Just fucking book it to B, you know that's a B player. Yeah, Totem, yeah, knife out. Knife out, guys. They won't be here. That guy pushed through B. And you're just kind of allowing this guy time to rotate. Wait for that smoke. You don't gotta rush, just wait for that smoke there. Good kill there. CT smoked, that's fine. CT. So now you're not sticking yet. The thing with the smoke is that this means that this is the only angle you can come through. You trigger discipline. Okay. I think you're definitely panicked here. Like you're just thinking a lot. Hopefully your teammates are not screaming in your ears because that's not gonna help much either. But let's try to think about this like logically. So you've got an exec, Todium through a CT smoke. Just wait for that to pop. It's fine. You guys have time on the clock. Like if they see that smoke come in, and you wait a couple extra seconds for it to pop, these guys aren't realistically going to be able to do too much because it's popped. It's like the A rotators aren't going to be able to do too much due to it popping. But yeah, so it's CT smoked. You hear that there's an op here. So if the op is spamming through, that tells you that he's just trying to stop the plant. It tells you there's no one here. There might be someone in Shark, she's just not set up yet, but it means you can stick the plant. So let's say you stick the plant, you've got like 5 seconds left on the smoke, so now you just got to set up for the post plant. Whether that's going banana, I think is probably the move here in a 1v2, I think is what it was at the time. Yeah, so you go banana on 1v2. You know one has an op, so banana's fine. I don't think like if you're able to get off of site in 1v2, you definitely should. Like that's the way that I think you convert the wins on a 1v2 post plant. Is you get out of sight. So you're gonna spend their time clearing site, and then that way you burn enough time on the clock that you can just use the bomb timer to your advantage, where you force them um, to do more like extreme stuff. Well, not extreme stuff, but like you force like if you're not on site, they waste all their time clearing it, and then they have to identify, okay, where could you have gone? And then by then they have to gamble which of those you did. Did you go to church? Did you go to banana? Like, did you lurk through a smoke? Like, did you get a timing? Like, that gives you a lot of opportunity. So by getting off of the site, you really set yourself up nicely to be able to like fuck with the bomb timer like that. So I don't think like there's no reason to fake it here. I think you use the plan. Trigger discipline sucks there. Like not having the trigger discipline there kind of sucks. I think you just let him through, but if you don't recognize that he's not turning, like not looking at you, then it's fair that you want to shoot. But like you're panicked. I can tell you're panicked. You're low HP. You're not playing the way that you should be or have been playing. But unfortunately, you don't win the 1v2. But it is what it is. You guys get 5 rounds, um, which is definitely workable. Alright, so we're on CT side now, and this is the side where Gabik said that he plays pit, and so we'll see what happens. I don't really like that you say that you're a pit player. You don't gotta go, like you need space, like you need info. So here's my problem that I have. I don't know how to say this, so we're just gonna say it, and if I have to fix this in post, you have to fix this in post, alright? The CS that I think you're trying to play is too structured for pugs. You should not be a pit player. You should not be a short player. You should not be an arch player. You should not be a sandbags or a cart player. You should not be a quad player or an arch or a long or a short or whatever the fuck I've said. You just play whatever is convenient and whatever is necessary, typically. It is good to try to play the same spot every round because that's how you learn a position. That's good. That's nice. But it's 10 seconds into the round and you've put yourself in pit and you are jiggling apartments. They cannot be here. Like, at best, they're gonna be like here. They can't be here for another like 10 seconds. even if they're full sprinting. And by the time they get here, it's too late. Like they have all this space to work with. Toadium can maybe hear that they're coming, that they're rushing. If they rush, they're not here, thankfully, but your teammate can call that. But by the time they're here, it's too late. Like you need to know that they're here well in advance because you need rotates. You cannot lose a site because you're not retaking a site. A retake on a site, it just isn't happening like 90% of the time. Unless something miraculous has happened or you happen to have an advantage somehow. A retake's just not happening on A. So you need to make sure that they don't get apps as much as possible. The moment they have this space in apps, you basically just lose a lot of the site unless you've got this like gnarly crossfire going on the balcony, which again just isn't happening if your teammates up on short or if your teammates up here in arch. You need at least one of them to hang out here so you can get a crossfire, or maybe Toad just backs up here and gets a crossfire like this, something like that. But you're relegating a lot of space that you don't need to be because it's 10 seconds into the round. They can't be here. They like from the spawn, like your teammates in B haven't even made contact and you're in pit. I don't agree with that. I think you need to wait until much later to move to pit. Like you need a reason to be in pit other than this is my default spot, I think having apps and having the space here is far more important because what you can do is if you see them here, you can then drop into pit and then you can play pit. But by playing in pit, you don't have that information off the start. You don't know how to respond to it. If you throw a Molotov, by the time you see them, they're gonna be past the Molotov already. They're gonna be past the smoke already. If you throw a flash, like they can be out here already by the time that flash pops. A nade maybe can help just given how they work, but uh, you don't have a lot of options here. You're really shooting yourself in the foot by just resolving yourself to pit. Um, if you're looking to have impact on the game, you should not be playing pit. Just, just straight up, pit is a good anchor position, but you need a reason to be anchoring there. Or let me change the phrasing. It is a good position to anchor from, but it's not a good anchor position. I want to draw a distinction there. There is a difference. It is a good position if you need to anchor the site. It is a good position to be, but it is not a position that the anchor should be putting himself in every single round. Hopefully you're picking up what I'm putting down and you can kind of understand the difference that I'm kind of trying to draw here. To be clear, 3A completely fine. I just think you need more on apps. So hopefully, I know I'm saying this after only seeing only 10 seconds of CT side. Hopefully this is not a recurring problem. We'll see, but hopefully it's not. But anyways, they're Russian B, so your arch player is rotating. Both you and your short player rotate. That's fine. I guess if they've called bomb, that's fine. Typically, you do want to be kind of leaving one player, um, like late. The way I try to think about it is that the way I try to think about it is that Inferno is kind of this tug of war. It's this push and pull. You should not be pushing all players to the other side at once. You should not be pulling all the other players to your side at once. Um, so you'll have your default setup. You'll have two on B. They'll be anywhere. I guess we'll say there's one CT, there's one in Church. Okay. You've got your arch player. You've got your short player. That's a one. Wow, that's a fucked up one. Anyways, and then you've got your apps player. When there's tension in that rope between you guys, and by tension I mean you have information. There's activity on banana, there's activity mid, then you pull that rope. And what happens is you'll pull one player over, and that means that all the other players get pulled over. So your short player will end up heading towards Arch. or towards long, your apps player will pick up the short, and then you'll have 3 on B. Sometimes you'll have something where your short player will stay here and your arch player will pick up, but you know, there's a metaphorical rope that's being pulled between you guys where now you have, you've got one maybe on site, one church, one CT, and then you've got one on uh short, or one on long, one on short. And so you've pulled an apps player out. This apps player still has information because they're far up, and so you're not realistically going to be too surprised by it if there is someone that comes out of apps, but you're set up to reinforce the B site. And let's say we think there's an execute coming through. What do? You then pull that rope more and you pull another player. So now you've got a player, you've got one player on A. Typically, you're going to want to be maybe somewhere like this. That way you can check short or you can check long and you can check kind of the short apps area. So this position has the most control. I don't want to say control. They have the most visibility. They don't necessarily have the most control because they do have to give up this fight pretty easily, but regardless. So you pulled another player over, and now you've got 4 people. Hopefully they're all alive, but you've got more presence on the B bomb site. And so you reinforce that because these players can always, if they want to, cancel and run back. Always, always, always. And you need to know if they do, because if they cut noise here, you won't hear them again until it's too late. So you need someone who's present, who's at least available to give that information on the other bomb site. That way you know if they're going quiet or if they're committing. That's what the anchor does. The anchor doesn't sit and pit because the anchor doesn't have information on anything. They could rotate through arch and flank. By the time they get through apps, it's too late because they've already overwhelmed you. If they go through short, that's probably the best case scenario for a pit player. If they wrap arch, sorry, I'm trying to use CU callouts. I usually called this short and this arch, but by arch I mean long. Um, so if they wrap long, then you're in an okay spot for this fight, but it's really easy to get pinched. So it's not a great spot. You can't back up anywhere, and that's really why I think Moto is a lot more beneficial as an anchor-oriented position, because if they come up long, you can back up on a site. If they come up short, you can back up into here and pick up library or something like that. Library itself is similarly decent because again, you can back up really easily if you need to, and you can get away if you need to, but you still have a lot of visibility, not control, but you have a lot of visibility. So I know it's pistol round. It's 20 seconds in, but that's my philosophy for how Inferno works. It works the other way, where if you think there's activity on A, you will pull that tug of war rope. You'll pull it, and you'll pull over like it's the CT player. So if you've got, if you start, 3B, you've got this set up like this, and you think there's activity on A, then this player will come pick up here, get a crossfire going with the short guy, something like that. Then a CT player will come in and reinforce the arch position, long position, my bad. And then this coffins player will maybe come pick up CT, and this player will come pick up this. It's not going to be that exact because you don't want everyone to be moving position at the same time, because then you have gaps. You'll have a gap here where there's a couple seconds, or maybe they can get through top mid, or maybe you'll have a gap where this player is crossing, or where this player is leaving and from coffin towards CT, and there's a small gap there. So it's not going to be that like literal, but it's about the control and the presence that you guys have. And then if you have 3A and you got to pull one more, well then now you got to pull a CT player in, and it just kind of works like that. So it's very much a tug of war map, more so than a lot of other maps. I think a lot of other maps should work this way. I think honestly a great example of this is Ancient. I think Ancient is very, very similar to this as well. Mirage is somewhat similar, although the CT rotate makes it a bit difficult. But this isn't necessarily the case on a lot of the other maps. It's just it is generally the case on other maps, but the Inferno, I feel, is the best map to explain this with. So I am happy that this is an Inferno demo. I've explained this like 5 million times in a couple of my previous demo reviews. As I said, they're in the description if you want to check them out. I just like 40 hours of them, so hopefully you find something useful in there. So anyways, doesn't matter too much because team just has everywhere. Other team just has everywhere, but it's fine. Yeah, this round is over. Doesn't matter too much, but I think it's just because the banana fell so fast, and the rotates just didn't come in fast enough. Like they should be screaming for rotate here. Number 2 should be rotating like 5 seconds ago, and then this guy just needs to back up on his site. And now that he's backed up on site, he's too busy taking a fight here. He should be going towards like dark or new box. He's just not picking either. I think if he picks new box, you know, you get a crossfire of the CT guy, and it's really nice. But anyways, this isn't you, so I'm gonna shut up and just keep going to the next round. So you go for a buy here. I don't. It's difficult. I fundamentally agree with it, but I disagree with it here because this is not a team environment. And this goes back to what I was saying in the first like bit of the last round, is that the way you're playing communicates to me that you want to play team CS, and people just aren't going to play like this. So there is the benefit to buying on second round because you can get a full buy sooner, kind of. It's a bit weird. I've explained it a few times, but basically, by forcing on second round, you have a chance to kill the T economy. You'll get a proper full buy on round 4. If you full save on second round, while you have a full buy on round 3, you won't have full utility, so it's not as strong. So your first 3 rounds are weaker on average than if you force here on second round. Give yourself a chance to kill the T economy. Give yourself a bonus round on the next round, and then you have a really strong buy on the round after that. So I understand, and I do agree with it in principle. The problem is no one on your team is doing this as well. So your economy is getting fucked because like no one's on the same page. You've bought down. Green has bought down. Toad was able to buy an MP9 because I think it's MP9. Sorry, I'm fucking blanking, but Toad is able to buy an MP9, but no one else is able to buy. Even then, I think 1700 is too low. If you're buying down that low on second round, just buy down all the way. They should just be getting a full buy. But again, this is not a team environment. You are queued, and this is a game that you play on like with random teammates. But if you aren't playing Team CS, by that I mean ESEA, CSC, or you're 5 stacking, I don't agree with this. So, hope that makes it clear. This is not a wrong thing you're doing in principle, but your team isn't doing it, and so you shouldn't do it either. So unless you can convince your team to full buy, which you generally can't do in a pug, because a lot of people still think on that older line of thinking where you save second round, um, then it's just probably not going to happen. You should just full eco here, even if on average it's better to force. If your team's not forcing, you don't force. So you come short here. I like that. They throw this top mid smoke. So you throw this smoke all the time on T side, so you should kind of know how to deal with it. If you don't know how to deal with it, then that communicates to me that you don't use that smoke that effectively on T side. And I say that because if you throw this smoke all the time on T side, then you know how people like to react to it. You know what works, you know what doesn't work. Do they grenade the smoke? Do they have a crossfire? Do they flash? Do they Molotov one side and give up the other to force you into to like funnel you into something? Do they just give it up? So, with how often you throw it on T side, you should have a general sense of what works and what doesn't work when it comes to the CT defenders trying to stop something. So you should be doing that when you on CT side are faced with the smoke, just using that knowledge that you've like accumulated. I'll also add kind of adding what we talked about before. The buy is it's a little better because people have force down now, but it's still not great. Especially because Blue's not really doing much, but I'll give him benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's buying the op, but I think, yeah, I think you just gotta spam through sooner, with all the noise. Like, Mantide has communicated that he's backing up, so they're gonna hunt him, and so they're gonna go through here, and they're just gonna kind of funnel for you. They might shoot back, which is why I think you're hesitating. Um, but this is why you use the information you have from your own times throwing the smoke to kind of inform what you do here. And that suggests to me, like I saw on your T side, you just didn't really use the smoke that much. You threw it a bunch, but you didn't use it in any way that I might expect you to. Um, and that means that you're not maybe using it here the way that I think you should be. That's just a miscommunication and kind of a little bit of panic there. Here, if you were looking at the map, you might have seen the Mantide gave up long. Hopefully that was communicated in some way, in which case you should recognize that they could be moto. And so your gun should be out like here, like fully ready to shoot, not like having to reload. And then there you just kind of get stuck on that. The rest of the rock doesn't really matter because they're dead, and we don't care about what your team does here. And now you're going pit with the Deagle. You're on. Oh my god, the buy's terrible. So you forced last round, so you need to save this round. Your whole team needs to save here. Like that's why you do this buy order, is in case things go wrong, you save here so you can buy. You can full buy on the 4th round. These two players have fucked it up. And Toad has bought with them, and now your buy is just all over the place. I am frankly surprised that this is gonna become a tied game into overtime. Because realistically speaking, you guys should lose this round. Because your buy's not good. They have a full buy. And then off of that, they just kind of snowball from there. They'll be 10-5 and then it doesn't take too much more. But I think you guys have over-rotated. Rope was pulled way too hard. You've rotated 2 people, which is okay. But it's gone quiet now. I think Mantide goes into Church here. Okay, you're going into Church so you can get a crossfire, but then now you rotate. Yeah. Bit dodgy, but... Alright, back here in Arch. You go to Moto. Good shot there. Okay. I'm surprised, I'm very impressed that you guys converted that round. That should not have been a round you won with the buy that you guys had. So it's good that you did win. I don't think you should have, but it's good that you did win. Hopefully you get a gun. No? Okay. It's what it is. Oh, you get day one. That's good. That helps a lot. You should sell a flash. Or either you sell a flash and drop for blue, or Toad drops for blue. Just to get the buy on the same page. Oh, don't fucking type. No one cares. No one cares. Just fucking mute the other team. The command of the lifetime is CL, mute enemy team, true. It's the best command you can do for yourself. No one cares what the other team says. Don't talk to them. They don't matter. Just play your game. That's all. You'll save yourself a lot of mental energy. You won't tilt as much. It helps. Use it. Use it. It's fine. You're giving up a lot of space. Like, you're kind of walking around. Like, what are you really doing here? Like, what have you done for the last 15 seconds? I think you just go into apps and just jiggle this. That's all you gotta do. Just jiggle it. You don't have to fight it. You can jiggle with your knife out. You don't even need a gun. Maybe have your pistol out in case you need to shoot. It doesn't matter too much, but and just do infrequent jiggles. You don't want to be jiggling every second. You want to go once in a while because they do have the advantage on this fight, which is why you don't want to take it. They have the longer range because they're going to be right up here next to the wall, as well as it's the right eye peak or left eye peak. I never remember which one it is, but they do have the advantage on that fight, and so you should jiggle as non-committed as possible. So have a pistol out in case you need to pop shot before you go, or have your knife out so you can fucking book it and drop in a pit. And anchor from there, which is what you want to do if that's your goal, is a pit anchor. They've smoked this. You should boost someone up and leave and go back to A. Cool. Now, yeah, this is fine. I don't think you swing through. Oh god. Yeah, don't swing out there. I think you just post up and hold. Hold apps, because you don't know where they are yet. So I don't think you swing out until you have information on where exactly they are. I know Toad has said they could be anywhere, which is technically where they are, you know, but um, yeah, you know where they are. You're just kind of swinging to swing instead of with intent here. Having the nade out is kind of whatever. Um, Got a full set of utility, and I do want to see you throw something. I think a smoke off of like this wall here that'll land like around here gives you a lot of space to push up and not worry about pit. You'll have to worry about this guy, so he's gonna make himself known soon. But you can focus a lot more towards sight. You know, you can come here, check this, check sight, and then work your way up the smoke to clear this. You know, just imagine this burn spot is a smoke, honestly, and that's essentially what you want. Got a flash. That flash is much too far. Like, it's fine, because it'll hit this guy. It'll hit the pit guy, kind of, but I think it's too far. Like, your team is already pushed up. See how you full blinded this guy? Toad would have been full blinded if he was looking towards pit here. Just throw a flash, like, almost straight up. Just left, right click, straight up. Maybe a little further, and so that you kind of hit this spot on sight, maybe. But, yeah, it goes too far. You do cause damage to your team by doing it. Or, like, risk damage to your team. Fucking drop for blue. He's broke. One of you. You go short here. Toad has gone pit. They throw the same smoke against you that you always throw, and so you seem to respond to that by giving it up. You hear apps, so you molly it. You hear something in apps, so that's fine. You burn 2 mollies, so now they know there's 1 pit and 1 apps. Or site. They're at apps, so Toad's got 1. Honestly, I think here with Toad, let me get the molly out of the way. If he's playing here, I think it's better to hold a position like this, where you can help get a crossfire out of a player on apps, where you'll take first contact and he can kind of hold a short push. Because while he's down here, he's basically got this, and if he needs to flick up, he can. But he's protected by this like overhang, so you can hold the overhang and he can hold the short for you, and it's a nice crossfire. You've got the cover, so you can focus more on this, and he's got cover, so you can focus more on short. That way you don't have to worry about taking this fight and then swinging out and getting this fight, or, you know, picking and getting a little stuck. I think a defensive smoke would be good here as well. Like, you've got full utility, you can use something. You can maybe throw a smoke on short, or you can throw a smoke like to your side to kind of give yourself space to move, or you can just like drop a smoke on sight and just back up or something like that. You just drop a smoke and see what you can do with it, honestly. If it confuses you, it'll confuse them, you know? But I'll just give you space to move if you need to. Back to you. 3. Seems you and Toad are not on the same page for what you want to do. I guess you wanted a boost into porch? Oh, that molly went way too far. Gotta be careful, because there's this back here now, so. Mollies are a lot more likely, and smokes for that matter, are a lot more likely to go through. So just go into private server and just throw that molly a few times and just kind of get a feel for it. Yeah, they just weren't looking at your game, I guess. That's fine, not too much to say. That's a decent spot to play in pit, if you are playing pit. Oh, you go B? Never mind. Oh my god, they talk so fucking much. Yeah, I think you need info. Like, you guys are playing really far back here. I don't really get it. And as well as you guys have bought down and your teammates hasn't. Kind of weird. You just take a little bit of a wider fight here, because yeah, they'll have vision first. If you have something that's a bit more like this, then you can make sure that they can't see Toad on short at all. Because otherwise, if you're back here, they can kind of get up here and see over a little bit. But you do get two. You get both, so that's good. They talk so much. Shut up. No one cares. Anyways, so you're here, same spot again. So I wonder if they try and clear you in any way. Yeah, is what it is. Honestly, I'm gonna say it would have been avoidable had you just been jiggling apps. You jiggle apps, you clear it. If you want a fake noise, you just jump. No one knows what the fuck it sounds like when you land in pits. You just jump anywhere here, and they'll hear you land, and they'll think you're in pit. It works way more than it should. I promise you, it works like 90% of the time. 99, honestly. Um, so you take the fight, or you don't take the fight. You take the peek. You see they're there. You back up. You either fake a drop, you actually drop, or you just go silent, or you drop off, here and go towards site. You've got a lot of options there as soon as you have that information. You can have a Molotov out, so you can throw a Molotov and slow it down. You can have a nade and time that. You can throw a flash, kind of. I wouldn't really recommend it here, but you've got full utility, and so you might as well try and use it. Like that's your goal here, because now you'll notice it is 20 seconds in the round. They are all the way up. These guys just have sight now, basically, because you didn't like jiggle it at all. You didn't have any of that information to be working with. You're sitting here most of the round. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. Like, I don't really have many issues with that once it's only a couple people left. I think if there's more alive, then yes, you should be playing in apps more. I would have liked to at least see you jump up, at least give it a courtesy peek, as opposed to going to pit, but it's okay. Just jiggling this. Tug of war. So they have pulled one of they pulled your long player over, and both of you guys are still here. One of you, probably Toad, should come pick up Arch. At least have a crossfire set up. They hear you by now. Or they should. This guy's turned around. They get the op, cool. No reason to switch there, or like switch weapons there, but that's fine. Doesn't matter a ton, you got the round. I don't like this smoke. Oh, and you both throw it. Yeah, I don't like that smoke. I think it's bad. It gives T's all this space. Like, you know how you were throwing that smoke every single round on T's side? There's a reason you throw it. It's so that like you get this space without needing to work too much for it. So by throwing the smoke, you throw that very same smoke for them that you were throwing for yourself. More or less. It's in almost the same spot, but it functionally does a similar thing. The other smoke just means, you can pop out, and it's a more aggressive smoke for T's, as opposed to this. So don't throw that smoke. It's a waste. I don't think it's good. If anything, use a Molotov if you expect to push, but... Now, that would have been a great time for a Molotov, by the way. As soon as Todium drops, wait a second, and then throw a Molotov. That way you slow it down. Good 2 kills there. Now you've got green to kind of support that. Now's another good time for a Molotov. Especially because you've got green looking there as well. There's that. Again, they throw the smoke. They don't really use it much, but holding boiler, which is fine. Oh, what are you doing? Maybe you're lagging out. I don't know, but yeah. So you're not looking at an angle here. Like you go, okay, you're looking boiler. That's fine. Now you're just staring at a wall. And when you're jiggling, you're not jiggling out from the corner. So like, it's fine if you're jiggling, but your crosser's got to be on something when you're like all the way out, and you're just not here. So I think we're setting up for a peek or looking at a mini map or something. I don't know, but this for everyone's 1v2, and now we're in overtime. Guy's gone into boiler. That's kind of whatever. Molotov, please. Molotov, something. Okay, you saw a guy. Yeah, throw a Molotov, man. You can stall for time with that. Does a lot more than a nade, honestly. So your pit player is doing apps. Okay. So you need to hold short here. You've given him a lot of space. This guy's gotten past you already. Yeah. You gave him a lot of space there. You should have, realistically, you should never get that kill on the guy on the hay bales and the hay car. He got a good timing on you, and so it's good that you converted the kill in spite of that. But there's no world where he should get that. Like Toad should be communicating that he is holding apps, and so it is up to you to worry about short. Should probably be the other way around, where Toad worries about short and you worry about apps, just because you would both have deeper angles. Like if you're holding short, you can only see like this far. If Toad is holding short, he can see fucking everything. Same with apps. If you're holding apps, you can see all the way back to here. If Toad is holding apps, he can see like this, and that's it. So should probably be switched around, but I do understand sometimes just doing something sub-optimally because it catches them off. But you guys get the round, so that's fine. I don't think you guys win any other rounds this game. So this is good. This is what I mean by push and pull. You've picked up Arch, your Arch player has rotated. And now, for whatever reason, you are now being pulled over, which is fine. That's a 3v1. Do you guys have bomb? You know you do. You guys talk so fucking much. Hold a little wider here. There you go. Yeah, just hold wider. Like, obviously, one, you're aiming at the wall, but also, just hold wider. Like, just hold like this. Like, right here is fine. Because then, like, you can shoot them in the head as soon as they're ahead. As soon as, like, your reaction time has told you their head is there. But if you get the headshot, it's not a big deal. It's just a small thing. I think this game ends 16-13, actually, not 13-16. Yes, it does. Other way around. So they get one more round, and you get two more rounds. So here I'm top mid, this guy's flashed, and you're not looking at boiler. I think it's gone too long for no utility at all to be used here. Like, you can smoke a smoking boiler isn't great, but if you're gonna be focusing on top mid, I think it is the call here. This guy's peeked you and you just aren't prepared for it anyway. We switch teams. Okay. And you've got bomb, by the way, so now you're gonna go banana. This guy is smoked, but it's not a great smoke, so he's just able to see through it, and he just kind of wins you through the round. 1v5, but I'm assuming you don't win it because it does go 16-13. Decent attempt. I don't know, you weren't with your team at the start of the round, which is when you really should have been with them. That way you can try and trade that op, or at least do something to prevent them from peeking. Whether that's nading the smoke or molotoving negative smoke, something like that. That's just unlucky. It's whatever. So see how they threw the smoke here? And now it's giving you space to come up. Now they hear you here, but it's giving you the space to do what it is you want to do. Beating up. So you guys go through. You've been noisy, so now this guy's pushing behind you. You don't know that though, but it's whatever. But yeah, okay. Yeah, that guy pushing through behind is kind of whatever. It's a thing that happens, but I don't blame you for not really recognizing it. Honestly, most of the issues I saw were on T side, where you're just not really with your team. Your team goes and does stuff, and you maybe start with them, and then you kind of tuck yourself in a corner somewhere, or just kind of hold something that doesn't really need to be held. CT side, you're not a pit player. Even then, you say you're a pit player, and then I saw you in pit like 3 times. You just played short more than anything, which is fine. Short's a powerful, powerful position. I play short typically. It's where I am most comfortable. But um, yeah, it's if if you want to if you are comfortable defending in pit, then you should play apps because then you can drop into pit. You have a lot more opportunities when you start in apps as opposed to when you start in pit. If you start in apps, you can drop short, you can drop pit, you can stay in apps, you can fight apps, you can aggro apps. I never saw you guys aggro apps this entire game. You can drop onto site. You have a lot of opportunities there, and you get the information to do what it is you need to do. You see someone, you drop a molly, and then you go do what you want to do. You drop a smoke, and then do what you want to do. You don't get that information if you're playing pit. If you are playing short, you can't really do much in terms of utility for stopping apps because it's just not a great angle to be throwing stuff. But um, I think you should consider starting apps more. Don't fight the long haul. It's okay to fight it, but don't be looking for a fight there. You don't want to fight there because they do have the advantage. Um, but like I said, you can start apps and then you can go work pit, and you can lean towards pit as your preferred method for when they're actually attacking. If they're not attacking, you don't need to be in pit. There's just no reason to be. So, anyways, hopefully that helps. Hopefully you learned at least a little bit. As I said, all my other demo reviews are down in the description. Hope you have a good day. Hope you have a good night. Take care. Bye bye.